This is the new HDZero Gamma AIO. It is a 3-in-1 flight controller, ESC and receiver, but it differs from the previous AIOs that HDZero have released because this one doesn't have HDZero built in. Instead, it is a more traditional AIO that allows you to build a quad in the size range of say 2.5 inches to 4 inches and choose whatever digital FPV system you want. HDZero may be known for building their digital FPV system, but over the last few months, they have also been making some really good electronics for FPV, including their own ESCs and flight controllers. And the Gamma now sits between what they did with the AIO 5 and 15 and their standalone flight controllers, because this one supports up to 45 amp, sitting really in the midpoint, but again, allowing you to make the choice of what digital FPV system you want to use. Now, this isn't a review because it's an overview more than anything, and what we're going to do is give you a look at this new controller. I'll get it on the bench, we'll get it under the microscope, and at the end I will share with you my thoughts. It's not really fair though to call it a review because I'm not going to fly it. However, I do just want to be clear in saying that HDZero did send this over to me to take a look at for free. However, they've not paid me to make this video, they've not seen this video before it's been published, and as always, my thoughts are entirely my own. Okay, so when you get the Gamma, you will find it comes in this nice solid plastic case. Inside, you will find the AIO itself. In the bottom, you will then find the accessories that they include with it. This consists of the following. We have our XT30 cable with a built-in capacitor. We have some isolators, and we also have a small antenna for the built-in receiver. Looking around the AIO in a bit more detail, if you've seen any of the previous HDZero ones, it will look familiar with that nice white solder mask. You can see there are pads located all the way around the sides. We've got a USB-C port for our connectivity to our computer. There's a dedicated digital port, and you'll notice that there's a UFL over here, and that is because this AIO has Express LRS built in as well. As I mentioned at the start, when you look around this board, you will see that there is no HDZero chipset, and that is because this board does not have HDZero built in. It is a more traditional AIO designed to allow you to build a quad and you make the choice of what digital FPV system you want to use it with. Whilst the HDZero brand is obviously associated with the HDZero digital FPV system, this is an AIO like you would find from any other brand in the market that allows you to use it with whatever digital FPV system you want. However, that isn't to say that it doesn't pair very nicely with HDZero, especially if you wanted the ultra low latency that you can get with the Nano 90 that offers 14 milliseconds end-to-end latency. When it comes to the main flight controller, this supports Betaflight and is based around the STM32G473 series. That runs at 170 MHz and it has the ICM 42688 gyro, a baro on board, has 3 UARTs as well as an I2C port as well. There is no analog OSD built into this controller. It is specifically designed to be used with digital, so that means the likes of HDZero, but you can also use it with DJI FPV, Avatar HD, or any of the other systems that support MSP DisplayPort. There are pads available, but you also have a dedicated connector for it there as well. Alongside no analog, there is also no black box storage on board this AIO either. Moving over to the ESC, it is a 32-bit ESC based on AM32 and it is rated at 45 amps. Finally, as I've said, it also has Express LRS built in as well. So on this side of the board, you will see there is a UFL. It uses the SX1280 series chipset, so it is 2.4 GHz Express LRS, and it supports a maximum telemetry power of 10 milliwatts. Power-wise, it is designed to be used on 3 to 6S voltages, and it also has dual BECs on board too, supporting 5 volt and 8 volt, both up to 3 amps. That 8 volt BEC is going to be ideal for the likes of HDZero, DJI or Avatar HD, meaning that you're getting clean power to your digital FPV system. When it comes to wiring this board and putting it in your quad, it's worth noting that everything is on one side. Whilst there is some of the pads available on this side, you'll see that it is much smaller on this side. The main pad is on what I'm going to call the top side of the PCB here. This is the side with the USB-C port. When it comes to the labeling of the pads, the best place to get this is from the manual. Whilst there is some labeling on the board itself, the manual shows everything you need to know. So for instance, you can see we've got our M1, M2, M3 and M4 ports located there. We've got 3 UARTs, so you've got your main digital VTX UART on this connection, which has TX and RX1. It's got our 8-volt power, ground, and a second ground, and it also has a receiver input as well, which is R4. You've got TX and RX4 also available right next to that connector there as well. And then you've got your TX and RX3 available up here. So there are 3 options when it comes to UARTs. You've also got I2C available as well. That is down here at the bottom on these 2 pads. So if you did want to use it with a GPS module, you absolutely can. You've then got your battery input, your main one down the bottom. You've got your BECs over here, your 8-volt 3-amp BEC, as well as your 5-volt 3-amp BEC. As I said in the spec earlier, there are 2 BECs, but there is also a 4.5-volt output available as well next to the I2C port if you want to use it with a GPS. It's technically 2 BECs, but it's 5-volt, 8-volt, as well as a 4.5-volt for receiver stroke GPS. You've then got your additional options located around it too. So for instance, you've got your buzzer pads right on the corners. You can see there. We've got our additional BEC outputs up here. So you've got a 5-volt BEC up here. Again, that's going to be for your receiver. That's next to TX and RX3. If you wanted to use an external receiver, obviously you don't have to because it does have ExpressRS built in. You've got LED strip down here, and you've got some info on the LEDs on the board as well. So for instance, you can see here it shows you ExpressRS LED, which is located there, which is orange. You've got your Betaflight LED located here, which is green. And then you've got your buttons for the flight controller to put it into boot mode, as well as the Express LRS button. Now, when it comes to the strength and longevity on this board, it is a nice thick PCB, as you could see there under the microscope. If we just get it on my vernier caliper, it's coming in at about 1.79, 1.8 mil. If I push hard on it, I can get down to sort of 1.73, 1.75. I class that as a 1.8 mil PCB, which means there's going to be no flex in this whatsoever, which should mean it'll stand up quite well in crashes. Now, just walking you around this board under the microscope, on this side, so this is the side with the shunt resistor, you've got your STM32G473. Above this, we've then got our gyro. So if I just spin that around, you can see that's the ICM 42688. There are then 8032s located around this board. So you can see the 421s. These are for the ESC. So you'll see a couple of these. 1, 2... another one there, 3, and there's a 4th one somewhere. It might be on the other side of the board. So there's 3 on this side of the board. You've then got your baro sensor, and there is also the ESP here for the ExpressRS receiver, the 8685. That is located on this side of the board. There's also a couple of voltage regulators. So you've got 1 voltage regulator there. You can see the coil and the sundry components. And then we've got another one up here as well. There's some protection over here. If I go to the main VBAT input, you can then see the current shunt resistor as well as our VBAT there. And really, it's just passive components around this side of the board. If I flip it over to the other, over here, we should find one more 8032. There it is right in the middle. So that's the 4th one for the 4th ESC. You've then got your 40er motor drivers. They are the FD6288Qs. Should have 4 of them. And then we've also got the SX1280 on this side, which is the RF front end for that ExpressRS receiver, which goes up here next to the UFL. And then obviously you've got your FETs that go all the way around the board. And then you've got some sundry components, another voltage regulator there from the look of it. And then pretty much everything else. Now, when it comes to the pinout on this board, you can see that there are pins around the side. There's pads along here, more pins on the edges, pads down here, pads here for our battery input, and then pads down here. Not everything on the board itself is labelled. It's easier to look at this in the actual manual. There is labelling around it, and you've also got pad labels. However, the manual is the best place to get the info for the board. The pads on these are double-sided in the sense of you can see it on both sides, but you tend to have a big pad on one side and very little on the other, but they are castellated as well. So if we just look at it from the side here, you can see that castellation going all the way down the edges, which means you can either solder to the top of the pad itself. You can either solder directly to the pad, or you can solder into the castellation if you want to, again keeping things clean. And that is all the way around. You can see that castellation there down on the PCB. We've got our USB-C port, see our layers as we move all the way around, and you can also see that castellation through the mounting hole as well. Now, the new Gamma controller does sit in a slightly different position to the previous AIOs from HDZero. The AIO 5 as well as the AIO 15 both had HDZero built in alongside being flight controller, ESC and receiver. The Gamma, though, is an AIO for all. It has your flight controller, your ESC and your receiver, but it doesn't have the HDZero digital FPV system built in. It's designed to be a midpoint between the earlier AIOs and the standalone flight controllers that HDZero have released, allowing you to build a quad and use whatever digital system you want. Price-wise, the Gamma is available on the HDZero website for $79.99. As I've said, this gives you a 3-in-1. Your G-Series Betaflight based flight controller, your 45 amp ESC, as well as that Express ROS receiver built in as well. And then you can choose whatever digital FPV system you want. Obviously, it's going to pair up very nicely with systems from HDZero, but you're not restricted to that. And technically, you can use it with any digital FPV system you want. The only thing to take into account, as I said earlier, is there's no analog here, so it is digital all of the way. So, as you've seen, it's another AIO from HDZero, and it's really great to see them continue to develop the HDZero brand. HDZero not only now does the digital FPV systems, again, still the lowest latency digital FPV system available on the market today, period. End of. Nothing else comes close from a latency perspective. They also, though, have their range of flight controllers, ESCs. You've got the AIO 5 and 15 that offer amazing single board solutions for HDZero, but now you've got the Gamma, which again sits in between the two, flight controller, ESC and receiver all in one, letting you make the choice on digital, but also giving you a really nice compact AIO that should offer some nice performance. Now, if you're interested in getting yourself one, there will be a link to it in the description. As I've said, it's just under $80, although that price may vary slightly depending on where you get it. If you'd like to support the channel to allow me to keep making content like this in the future, there will be a link down below to my Patreon as well as Buy Me a Coffee. It is only through the support of my Patreons I'm able to keep making content on this channel, and if you'd like to support us, please do consider checking it out. I genuinely want to say a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. We would not be able to do this without your support. Anyway, that's it from me on this one. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will speak to you soon.